All right, everybody, welcome back. Good morning. We are back to the grind here. We are on to our day three techs, day three defensive tackles, if you will. And let's just go ahead and hit the ground running here because we've got a lot of ground to cover today. We are on to the fourth round and on projected defensive tackles, and we're starting with Ty Robinson of Nebraska. Very interesting one here. Already 24 years old when the season starts. Very atypical of a defensive tackle. He's tall, he's lean, and he's got short arms. So right away, your guard's up a little bit, right? Now, he's a great athlete. Ran a 4.83 which is incredible. Monster explosion. Broad jumped almost 10 feet. 33.5-inch vert. Really, really good testing numbers overall. So he does offset some of his physical atypicalness. You can see that the big boards a lot have him in the third. PFF actually has him down in the seventh. They almost single-handedly offset all this. I don't know why they don't like him so much, but the database has him in the early fourth. And you can see that he was very productive last year for the Cornhuskers. 13 tackles for loss, 7 sacks as an undersized, high-energy 3-tech. Good production, 42 quarterback pressures. So he's finding a way to be productive, but he finds a way to be productive in that LA Rams kind of way, where it's a lot of twists and stunts and trickery. It's not so much just straight up coming right at you stuff. So you got to know what kind of player this is before you invest in him. Now, Robinson is one of my favorite of the undersized 3-techs in this draft. He's got a tremendous drive. He works really hard to overcome his size limitations. He's got good lateral quickness, which allows him to be really effective shooting gaps. Uses his hands very well, really good at using his hands. He launches out of his stance fast and hard. He's maximizing whatever he can get out of his body. He's strong for his size. I do think that how lean he is makes you think one thing, but then you watch him play and you get it a little bit more. And he's a great athlete. Still, though, I do think there are problems here. He's very atypically sized for an interior lineman. He's not somebody that is going to be able to provide the bulk in the middle. He's not somebody who's going to be able to really hold his ground the way you typically want a 3-tech to do. He doesn't play with leverage, which is a big problem for him because he's so lean. 6'5", you got to learn how to sink your hips. And he doesn't work through traffic as well as you would like. He's definitely a player that needs to not get stuck on a blocker in the first place. And he doesn't have a lot of actual pass rush moves. Again, a lot of twists and stunts. So he's a really fun player. I'm pretty positive he's going to be good in this league. It's just going to be a matter of can he find the right situation. So I go late third round. I like him a tiny bit more than the aggregate, but I like him about as much as most of the professional big boards. Okay. CJ West is next up here, the Indiana Hoosier. Very short and squat, which is often nice, right? 6'1" as a defensive tackle is often a good thing. 316 pounds, so he's very wide. Very short arms, though, and that's going to be the start of our problem here. Tested well at the couple of things that he did. He's actually a pretty good mover. He's got some explosion. Big boards, CBS loves him. They put him in the second round, but other than that, it's mostly fourth, maybe even early fifth round. Production at Indiana the last couple of years has been good. 80 tackles, 15 for loss. Not a ton of pass rush stuff, but he holds up pretty well in there, and he finds his way to the ball carrier a decent percentage of the time. He's got quickness and short area agility and reactive athleticism to shoot gaps into the backfield. So he's not just a big dude in the middle who just hunkers down and doesn't do anything except take up space. He is somebody who can shoot gaps. He's really good in leverage because he's so short. He's good at reading plays in front of him. He's very smart. He's very cerebral in terms of playing defense. And he's also got some experience running the twist game, doing stunts, doing blitzes, and being used in unconventional ways to free him up. Now, I don't know if 31.5-inch arms are going to get it done in the NFL. That's going to be really hard for him to overcome when he gets to the higher levels of competition. And he doesn't really have much in terms of like pass rush moves. It all tends to be pretty straightforward and simple unless he's running a twist or a stunt, which is good. But in terms of him actually like beating his man straight up, doesn't happen a lot. I still think he needs to learn how to sink his hips even more than he already does. He still plays a little too high. Like when you don't bend down a little bit, it does tend to allow you to get pushed back more than you should. And while he does have a little bit of a track record of being able to shoot gaps, he's still more of a dirty work guy than an actual playmaker. So again, you just have to understand what you're getting into here with CJ West. So very interesting body type with CJ West because he's so squat, he's got a wide body, he's a good athlete. There are some real problems here because of the arm length, because of the pass rush moves, because of some of the little things that he has to improve on to even find his way as a space eater. So I don't think he's going to be able to ascend beyond being an adequate backup. So I'd go late fourth round on him. He's good. I'm not crazy excited about him, but I think late late fourth rounder is about right for CJ West, and that's close to where the aggregate has him. All right. Next up, Aeneas Peebles. Very, very interesting name. It's not a very good name for a defensive tackle, though, I don't think. I don't think a guy named Peebles is going to be a good defensive tackle in the NFL. But Vodtech, 24 years old, very short, very small, very short arms. This guy is so small, in fact, you have to wonder if he ends up playing like a 5-tech, if he ends up sliding outside, or if he needs to be a 3-4 end. You know, immediately this guy just jumps off the table as being like, wait a minute, how is this going to work? How is he going to play on the interior with these arms, with this body? It's tough to imagine because he is athletic, but he's not super athletic. He had a good 40, a pretty disappointing 10-yard split, though, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's making up for how small he is. This is another player CBS loves, by the way. They have him in the second, the mid-second. Everyone else puts him in like the fourth. The aggregate puts him in the fourth. The production is pretty good for Vodtech the last couple years. It dipped a little bit in 2024, but he still was making a decent amount of plays in the backfield. He was still getting pressure. He has 70 combined pressures over the last 2 years. PFF grades have been great, so he's doing something right. But is it going to translate? Well, he's not going to die wondering. He's a hard worker. He's one of the hardest workers in this draft class. Talented shooting gaps, talented breaking into the backfield and making plays. He does have some moves to get off of blockers. He does have some moves to actually like slide through contact and get to the ball carrier. And he gets off the ball fast and he knows how to play with leverage as well. Now, leverage comes easy to him, but he does understand it. And he was somebody who was kind of like the little engine that could. He just routinely found his way into the backfield, no matter how unlikely it looked for him. At the end of the day, though, he's still probably too small to really do this. 282 pounds. That tells me you need to change positions in all likelihood. Double teams are going to swallow him whole. Lack of length leaves him flailing often because he just can't get his hands into the off blocker, the offensive lineman. Definitely has a lower ceiling. I can't imagine him ever being anything more than a decent rotational guy. And he's also somebody that kind of has to really, really crank it to 11 to overcome his size. And that can lead to mistakes. That can lead to penalties. So I really like a lot of the undersized defensive tackles in this draft, but I think this one's pushing it a little too far. I think there are going to be some opportunities for him to have success in the NFL, but I don't think they're going to necessarily come traditionally. I'll go late fourth rounder on him, though. I think that the idea of moving him to like 3-4 end or 5-tech is intriguing, but it's tough to figure out. Okay, one more guy for this video. We're going to do Vernon Broughton or Brogton. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that. The Longhorn. So another Longhorn defensive tackle. They churn him out lately. Really big. And I don't necessarily mean that in the most positive way. He's got good weight to him, but he's also very tall, 6'5". 35-inch arms, though, that alone has got to get your attention as a scout. That is something that right away makes me go, okay, I got to pay attention. I got to start wondering if maybe this guy's going to be something better in the pros than he was in college, because in college, it was not really anything special until this last year. Now, that might be because he had Byron Murphy in front of him. I understand, but he didn't really contribute much until this last season. And this last season, he was good. It wasn't anything crazy over the top, though. And you're still seeing somebody who's more of a list of traits than he is a productive football player. So he definitely presents a very interesting picture in terms of his potential. 35-inch arms. I mean, that has to open up possibilities in your head. He's really good at using those long arms to work through blockers. He's really good at his stack and shed. He launches out of his stance quickly, goes into contact very early in the rep. He's a good athlete. I know he didn't do much of the combine, but he is athletically capable. He's got a decent set of pass rush moves as well, so he's not just a straightforward player. And he holds his ground okay against double teams. I think it's a respectable game on his part in holding up against double teams. He's just a little out of control sometimes. He ends up on the ground too much because he's just a little overeager. That may end up getting worse in the NFL. And while I do think that his stack and shed game is good, it should be better given how long his arms are. I think he needs to get a little bit stronger. And while he's not giant, he's not some massive dude who's just a big barrel full of dirt in the middle. He is he struggles to get lateral and move up and down the line and get to the ball carrier on outside zone runs. And just overall, we just haven't seen big production from him yet. And it makes you wonder a little bit if he's ever going to get there. So really, really fun talent. Length is getting my attention by itself. I don't know if he's going to put it all together, but you know what? I can't resist. I'm going to regret it, but I'm taking him in the middle third round. I already know I'm not going to get what I want out of it, but I don't care. He's just too much fun. He's just too interesting. So I'm spending the middle third round pick on him, even as I know I'm going to regret it, because I cannot turn down that length. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming soon. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good day.